Hi everyone, welcome to STEM Club Tetrahedral Kites. Today we're going to take some simple ingredients and build this fun high-flying kite. You should have picked up your take and make bag already, and in that bag there's some tissue paper, some kite string, a bunch of straws, some Scotch tape, a template, and you will need some scissors from your house. To build our tetrahedral kites, we're going to first build 4 individual pyramids, and then we'll attach some tissue paper to them and attach all 4 together, and then we'll give it a try with flying them. So for step 1, you want 3 straws, and take the end of the string and just run it through the straw, and it should slide down pretty easily. And once you get 1 on there, you'll take the next straw and push some more string through. Just kind of work it down until it comes out the other end. Pull it through and take that 3rd straw, put the string through it, until it comes out the end. We're getting close. All right, and once you have 3 straws strung, take your string and cut a little bit away from the end, like this. So you'll have 3 straws on the string. You'll pick up the ends and tie them together. And when you pull on the string, it's going to form a triangle. And so you just want to maintain some good pressure on your string and tie a couple of knots to keep the 3 straws together in the triangle form. Once you get enough knots in there, this is what you'll have. And that is step 1. Now for step 2, you're going to take 2 straws and string them together in the same way you strung the 3 straws together. Just take your string, slide it down through the straw, and it should go down pretty easily. And I don't know if you can see that. Whoops, pull it right out, and that's okay. I don't know if you can see the string kind of sliding through the straw. And you just keep pushing it through till it comes out the end. And once you have 2 straws strung, you'll do the same thing again, just a little bit away from the end of the straw. You'll cut your string, but don't tie these 2 together. You want to tie one end between these 2 straws in your triangle, and just make your knots. And just make sure it's tied securely, because this is going to be part of our kite, so we don't want it to come undone when we're trying to fly it. Just put 2 or 3 knots in there until you feel pretty certain that it's going to stay. And then you'll tie your other end, and if you should happen to accidentally pull it out while you're tying the other end of your string, just run your string back through. That's okay. All right. And so then you'll take this end of the string and tie it tightly onto this side of the first triangle. And this one's a little trickier to tie, and I'm no tying expert, so just do the best you can. And if you need a little help, ask an adult or somebody older to help you tie your strings. All right. Oops. Just tie it as best as you can. Get your knots in there. All right, and so that's step 2.
Okay, we're gonna cut.
All right, for step 3, you need just 1 straw. And you're going to do the same thing with the 1 straw. You just take your string, run it through the straw until it comes out the other end. Make sure you've got a little bit on the end of each side and trim it off. Whoops, sorry about that. And you'll take, and this time we're going to attach it just a little bit differently. We're going to take and attach it this way. So you'll take the one end of the string and tie it and put your knot. And try not to pull all of your loose end of your string out of your straw. And just tie a couple of knots in it. Until you're satisfied that it's going to stay secure. All right, and then the other end, you're going to take this side of your shape that doesn't have any string on it. You're going to lift this up and you're going to tie this 1 straw to that and just kind of snug it up as best you can and tie your knots. And again, try to get it as snug and secure as possible. And just work it till you're sure it's gonna be secure. And I'm just kind of twisting around a little bit just to make some tight knots. And there we have our pyramid. You're going to repeat those steps for 3 more pyramids, so you have a total of 4. And then we'll move on to the next step. All right, you should now have 4 of your straw pyramids built. And the next step is to take and cut out our template from this piece of paper. So this is where the scissors come in. And you'll just take it and cut along the black line. And this is going to be our template for the tissue paper covering on our kites. So just cut that out. And I'm going to leave this part uncut as a reminder to myself that this line needs to go on a fold line on your tissue paper. So you'll get out your tissue paper and it's folded for you already. So And just put the tissue paper here, and you can either cut around this, or if it's easier, you could take a pen and draw the shape on the tissue paper and then cut it out. And I think I'm going to find a pen and cut around the template, or trace around the template. All right, so now that I've found my pen, I'm just gonna trace on the tissue paper the template. And you want to make sure and do that 4 times. So you're going to need 1 piece of tissue paper sail for each pyramid that we build. So each time just line it up on the fold. And keep doing that until you've got all 4 traced out. Once you have all your templates traced out on the tissue paper, go ahead and take your scissors and cut the templates out. And you'll want to cut all 4 of them out. Just follow the lines. And if you get little squigglies in your paper, that's okay too. Once you have all of your tissue paper cut out, and again you want to have 4 pieces, 1 for each pyramid, you just take your tissue paper and unfold it. And then we'll lay the pyramid down and put a straw right in the fold of the tissue paper. And then you kind of roll it on its side and take the tissue paper and fold it over, and this is where your Scotch tape is going to come in. You'll take a piece of that and you'll just tape down the tissue paper around the straw. Just kind of wrap it around the straw and tape it like that. And continue on this side, and just take the tissue paper, and if you want to use longer pieces you can do that, but just make sure it's securely wrapped around the straw, and then we'll fold it or roll this pyramid and just do the other side. And so you're gonna take your tissue paper and just kind of fold it around the straw. And if your tissue paper tears a little bit while you're wrapping, just put a piece of tape over it. Just don't tape it to the table. Just wrap it around. Continue taping until you have the tissue paper completely attached to your straws, just like this. I don't know if you can see inside how it's taped, and then this is what it looks like on the outside. And then do that to all 4 pyramids that we've made. So you'll have 3 additional to do after you've done your first one. All right, now that we've got the tissue paper over all 4 pyramids, it's time to put our pieces together and make our tetrahedron. So what you want to do is take 3 of your covered pyramids and take 2 of them and kind of set them together, and then take a 3rd one and line it up like this, and that's going to be our first level. And remember, this kite is going to have 2 levels, so we need to attach these pieces together first before we can add the 4th pyramid. So what we'll do is we'll take some of the string that was left over from tying all of our straws together, and we're going to tie some more straws together. So we'll just take this and tie, and this could end up getting a little tricky, but that's okay, is tie them into a knot. And again, you want to make sure and do a couple of knots to keep everything together, because you don't want it to come apart when we get it up into the air. And so tie them good, but don't tie them so tight you break your string. And then take this one and tie it together. And the important thing when you're tying your pieces together is that you want to make sure that your tissue paper, your coverings are all facing the same way. Make sure that you've got like a right and a left here. Don't tie one or tie 2 like this and then tie a 3rd like this, because the wind won't catch your kite if you do that. You want to make sure all of your pieces have the tissue paper going the same way. So then we'll tie this one together. Get a couple of knots in this one. It easier for you to see. Lift it up a little bit. Get a couple of knots. All right, so now we've got the first layer together, and then we're going to add the top layer. So you'll just take it and tie the sides together. And just doing the same thing we've been doing to all of our other tying. Just tie 2 or 3 or 4 knots, however many you need to make sure it's secure. Now that we've got all of our pieces tied together, if you've got a bunch of long strings, you can go ahead and trim those. I don't know how short you want to trim them, but just so there's not a bunch of stuff flapping around when we go to fly our kites. Just trim your pieces. Don't trim them too short. this one. And then, once you've got your pieces trimmed, take your string and attach the whole roll of kite string to your kite where a section of straws comes together. So I'm gonna tie mine right here in the middle and see if I can wrap it around the section. Poke it through the hole. Just to get it tied good so we can join as many sections. All right, here, let's try it this way. All right. I'm gonna try this side and see if that goes any better for me. There we go. Okay. Run it through there, wrap it around the straws a little bit, and then just tie it. And again, do knots. 2, 3, 4, whatever you think you're gonna need to attach it securely. And then we're ready to try out our kites. Yay! Thanks for joining us today for Tetrahedral Kites. I hope you were able to get your kite way up high in the sky. We'd love to see any pictures or video that you take of your project, so please share it with us at the email address on the screen. We can't wait to see you next time. Bye.